Come on, let's go!
ActRaiser, released by Enix in 1990, way before they merged with Square. ActRaiser seems like a perfect game to kick off FamiComplex's video review series, as it's considered by many to be a beloved SNES classic, but many casual gamers have never touched it. In fact, this review marks the first time I've ever played it. I was first introduced to ActRaiser through Nickelodeon's 90s television show Arcade. Nick Arcade was a game show in which two teams competed against one another in trivia challenges, with video game related challenges mixed in. The host may have been the single most irritating personality on television.
Swing, swing, swing. Woo! Silly swinging, doing the short thing. He reminded me of Robin Hood. Okay,
well, okay, at least he's not as bad as this guy.
Unbelievable! Remember last time he had 100 points and got it all? This time, 50, 60, 70. This guy is the Video Power Challenge champion for Mega Man Week. Let's hear it for him, everybody. Let's hear it for this guy, Monster. He did a great job. Terry, tell these guys exactly what they're going to be getting at the Power Mall.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Where's Mark Summers when you need him? I'll always associate ActRaiser with this show, as it was one of the featured games in several episodes, and I was always drawn in by it. I'll let Phil Moore, the host of Nick Arcade, explain it to you.
ActRaiser, this is a good game. I like this one because in this action-adventure, you are an avenging angel fighting monsters. In this action-adventure game, you are an avenging angel fighting monsters. Because in ActRaiser, this is an action-adventure game where you're an avenging angel fighting monsters.
Where did they get this description? In this game, you play the role of the Master, who, generations ago, got his ass royally kicked by Tanzra, also known as the Evil One. Tanzra sent his 6 guardians to attack him, and the Master, seriously injured, retreated to his Sky Palace to tend to his wounds. If you're questioning the story, you're not alone. So, the Master is a god, right? Capable of miracles and possessing infinite wisdom and all. So how did these lowly guardians get the drop on him? How did they injure him? He's a freaking god, for God's sake. So, injured, he put up a barricade and fell into a deep sleep, during which his power and influence over the lands vanished, plunging them into a monster-filled chaos. After his nap, he tore down the barriers to find that all the people had fled, or died, or something. Your role is to destroy each of the Guardians and restore the lands to their once peaceful state. The game takes place across 6 lands, one for each Guardian. For each of these lands there are 2 acts, each with an action and simulation mode. That's right, this is 2 games in 1. In each land, you'll travel down and inhabit a conveniently located statue to do away with the monsters that keep people away. When you're done, you return to the sky and enter the simulation mode, in which you influence the growth of their civilizations. While you're at it, monster layers around each continent keep throwing enemies at you, which will attack the angel, who's your proxy in these scenes. Look at that cute little cherub butt. You fight back with arrows and miracles until your people have grown enough to seal each monster's lair. When you've finished, it's off to the next action stage where you fight one of the 6 guardians. Neither mode would stand up as well on its own, but when combining the sum of its parts, ActRaiser is a truly great game. On the action side of things, the jumping can be a bit odd throughout the game. Sometimes it's pretty difficult to gauge the distance needed to jump, and other times you'll hit the attack button during a jump and nothing will happen, which oftentimes results in an instant death. Occasionally, an enemy will hit you in the cheapest possible way, but this is an annoyance that so many games share, and here it's few and far between. There are some nasty booby traps to be found for those that want to collect all the points, but this is a game where points don't really matter, so why bother? The graphics are great, although some of the monsters can be a bit odd. Is that a winged jumping slug? A chicken hawk with a radish? A disembodied torso? What the hell is that thing? Nice Mode 7 effects are scattered throughout the game as well. It makes me wonder how the haunted Super Nintendo would have handled it. On the simulation side, it can sometimes get a bit boring just waiting for people to build their towns after all the monsters have been cleared, but it's necessary if you want to get more powerful, as level gain is tied to population. The puzzles here are minimal. For example, one town has sheep, the other is frozen. Before you leave one, they give you sheepskin for people who might be cold. Suddenly, you meet people who live in extreme cold. Might they want the sheepskin? Yeah, probably. This mode is easy to pick up and get into, it's certainly no SimCity. In fact, this mode is about as deep as your average Facebook game, but that doesn't mean it's not fun. Also, every time you do anything, there's a long-winded, unskippable explanation of the effect that it'll have. This is especially annoying when you need to do something over and over again. Also, every time that people have something to say, the angel says, "I know it's unexpected." Seriously? It stopped being unexpected about the 10th time they asked me for help. But again, let's talk about the God thing. Imagine you've got a direct line to the wrath of God. Do you ask him to use miracles to help your civilization grow and thrive? Thank him for his role in making your life better? Or demand inane selfish shit? I vote C. Now, that's more realistic. The music is great, and the sound effects are satisfying. Every time you swing your sword, the master yells, "Ha!" But somehow it never gets annoying or distracting. The final battle is great, using that favorite old video game technique of pitting you against every boss you've already defeated before allowing you to fight the final boss. In many of these games, you've got to do it all on a single life with a single life bar. Here you do have a single life bar, but if you die fighting a boss, you're restarted from that boss, not from the beginning. With full life, you continue from that point, which means it never feels cheap or artificially difficult. Sure, it's hard, but it's the kind of hard that gives you an immense feeling of satisfaction when you finally beat it, not frustration like so many others. All in all, ActRaiser is not without its flaws, but it still manages to be a fantastic game. It manages to successfully mash two games together and come out a greater game for it, which is a real feat. In light of several small problems, this game gets a 4 out of 5. At the time of this review, ActRaiser is just over $10, which is affordable but not dirt cheap. The final assessment then is a 4 out of 5. It's a great game that you should own, and you won't go into debt trying to get it.